Hey everybody, it's Mac and Ian back from the Casual Tryhards, and we just got back from a World's Finest pre-release event. World's Finest features Batman and Superman as allies instead of fighting each other like you'll see in the movie when it comes out. And what happened is it was a draft tournament, so we all sat in pods. They issued us each a booster. We got to pick one, pass it to the right, and then we had to form a team out of what we drew. So what we thought we'd do is, just because we got right back from the tournament just now, is we'd sit down and we'd show you what we got, and we'd talk a little bit about how it worked out and what characters we used and what was really good and not.
Mm-hmm. And how deadly it is to go up against the world's finest.
Oh, yes.
Because they will kick your butt.
Indeed.
So here, I'll go first, because I think my boosters may be a little underwhelming.
You think? I don't know.
It was good. All right. So first up, Element Man. He was the best guy in my booster. He was actually pretty good. He's got this cool power called a Periodic Arsenal. So you get to give Element Man a free action and choose a standard attack and or defense power. Element Man can use the chosen powers until your next turn, even if this power is lost. If Element Man chose both an attack and a defense power, deal him one unavoidable damage at the end of your turn. This actually, it would have come in handy if I had rolled well. But, so basically what I was doing is I was choosing like Blaze Claw's Fangs and like some really good stuff. And yeah, my rolls were never good enough to do any damage, but it was kind of cool to be able to choose those powers and then think, hey, that's
pretty versatile.
That would be pretty awesome. Also, he has super senses on like pretty much every single part of his dial. Like, he's pretty awesome. So I was actually able to roll out of a lot of things.
He's also got traded shape change and plasticity and giant reach. So that's pretty awesome.
And sidestep too.
Not bad. Good choice. 100 points. Outsider's team ability too.
That's right. He also had the Outsider's team ability. He was pretty awesome. He was my first choice. Definitely the best character in the booster that I opened. So then it got passed to the right, and I actually, next piece I chose was Batman, and I chose him a little more based on the sculpt than anything else. There wasn't a lot of great stuff left in that booster, but it's he's really good. He's got sidestep and willpower and plasticity and smoke cloud and lots of other things. He's got this power called I've discovered what I need to know. So Batman can use Outwit as if he has a range value of 8, which was pretty cool.
Yeah. Outwit's very useful.
Yeah, and when he does, if he removes a study token from this card, he can either counter an additional power on the targeted character, or this use of Outwit lasts until your next turn, even if the power is lost. Now, study counters you get from his, is that traded ability?
That is traded.
Yeah, traded ability. So it's called Study Your Enemies Well. So when an opposing character within a line of fire hits with an attack, place a study token on this card. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. You basically study your enemies and you figure out how to beat them. And he got a few good hits in, but
he sounds like he'd be a very good support piece.
Mm-hmm.
How many points is he? He's 50?
So yeah, he's only
60.
He's where's the point value there? 60 points. Yeah. So not a lot of points, but he did well for a 60-point piece.
Yeah, and he's got smoke cloud too. So you could he has the Batman team ability, so you could hide him in like hindering terrain, keep him out of fire, and then lay smoke clouds on the turns that you don't have to take pushing damage, to try and disorient or help with defense values with the rest of your characters. He's a great defensive piece. I would have picked him too, I think.
Yeah, and if he wasn't being poisoned to death, he probably could have done a lot of good stuff.
Well, poison is
there was a lot of poison in this set.
When we talk about mine, I'll tell you how poison was the star of the show for me.
So next I chose, actually I don't think I chose Mr. Nobody until last, but we'll talk about him anyway. Mr. Nobody, he was actually pretty good. He was my longest surviving piece each game. And he's, he's nothing special, but again, whoops.
Are you throwing them at me?
Yeah, I'm throwing him. His dial's a little sticky there. He has super senses, and with I roll great with super senses. I can't roll I can't roll above a 4 to save my life normally, but when it comes to super senses, I'm rolling 6 every time.
Good.
So I was constantly rolling out of stuff with Mr. Nobody. But
one thing somebody pointed out to me about Mr. Nobody?
What's that?
If you look at him from the front, and then you look at him from the back, he looks exactly the same.
Yeah. That is kind of cool.
That's kind of cool. He's like a weird, flat-headed sculpt, but it's kind of neat.
So he has a traded ability called It Belongs to Nobody Now. So when placing objects during game setup, you may place your opponent's objects.
That's incredibly helpful. If you had a super strength character, somebody puts out their objects. Some people rely on super strength a great deal in their objects, and all of a sudden Mr. Nobody's like, nope, I'm going to take all of your objects. They're going to be on my turn or my side of the map. Then they basically got to come to you to take advantage of that superpower.
Yep.
That's great.
And I did that my first game.
Did you?
And yes, I did, and it was against the guy who was employing the team with the world's finest on it.
Oh well.
So he just ran over there and smashed me with them anyway. But it is a good little ability here. So then he's also got this other traded ability called Sanity is a Fleeting Thing.
And I know that too well.
So give Mr. Nobody a power action and choose an opposing character within range and line of fire, and choose 2 slots on its dial that have standard powers. Until your next turn, or until the chosen character's dial is clicked, the chosen character can't use the powers displayed in these slots, but instead can use powers as if the colors in those slots are exchanged.
So a bit of a long-winded kind of a description there, but essentially I played against a team that this happened to me, and what I ended up doing is I had one of my characters, he had toughness and I don't remember, it was toughness and something else, but either way, Mr. Nobody ended up reversing them on them, and then he took the hit, and that was pretty much it for him. He was useless at that point because he didn't have a damage reducer, so that's a helpful little thing too. Another great support piece.
Yeah. So next we have Booster Gold.
Booster Gold.
He wasn't too bad. I kind of like all of his things because he seems like a bit of a douchebag.
Booster Gold, so the story behind Booster Gold is he actually lived in the future, and he always dreamt of being something more than what he was, so one day he decided to steal a bunch of future technology and then go back in time and become a superhero with it. Cool. And he's kind of like, he's a big fan of the spotlight, and he wants people to, I don't know, he's a bit of an egotist, I guess, but I like Booster Gold. He's better than people give him credit for.
Yeah, he wasn't too bad. He got killed pretty quickly during each of my games because I kind of rushed him in because he's got running shots, so I did that each game, and I was kind of taking pot shots at a Superman Piece 1 game, and I got a couple of hits in on him, but aside from that, like he's got the 3 damage on his first click there, and that's pretty awesome. He's got an ability called Stand Back and Watch a Real Hero Beetle. Booster Gold can use probability control. He may use it an additional time each turn if one of those uses targets himself, or if one of those uses targets himself or a friendly character named Blue Beetle. So he gets to use probability control twice.
Not bad. So Booster Gold, I mean, he can fly. So flight, he's 70 points. He's got flight and running shot, and then top dial damage is 3. That's not bad for a 70-point figure. You could use him to taxi in someone like Element Man, and then he could take a shot afterward. I can see why you chose him. I might have picked him too.
Yeah, And last but not least, we have Witch. Witch was
she's wearing a lovely purple dress.
She was kind of cool. People weren't really targeting her. She's only 20 points. So I think she's only got 3 clicks. But she's got sidestep, she's got phasing teleport, energy shield deflection, and she can. I wish I had gotten. I know you're going to talk about it soon, but the wizard piece, because I think that would have the Mystic's team ability. So Dark Lightning is which can use enhancement, unique modifier. When an adjacent friendly character with the mystical keyword makes a ranged combat attack, modify their attack value by +1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, so just standing next to Wizard, would have modified his attack value by +1.
Not bad at
So
all.
it would have been good if I had someone else with a Mystic Steam ability. I didn't. She's kind of the character I got stuck with last in the draft there. And the way the draft worked is you play every single one of the pieces you've got.
Yeah.
So this ended up being a 305-point team. I didn't do too well, but
You had fun, right?
I did have a lot of fun. So let's see what you got there.
All right. Well, let's take a look at what I got. I have a completely different group of characters than you did. Move that out of the way. One of the great things about it is in our tournament, we set it up so that if you pulled an ID card, you got to keep that right away. So I got the Green Arrow ID card, which is really cool because previously they've only had Avengers ID cards and the Shield ones, and it's nice to see that DC has them for the Justice League as well.
And they look completely different from the Avengers ID cards.
They
too,
do.
eh?
Well, yeah, they do. They're very cool. Green Arrow, 5 points. I didn't get to play because I didn't have a Green Arrow on my sideboard, but at least I got to keep it, and that's going to be a lot of fun in the future. So the first one I picked was actually Robot Man. And Robot Man, well, he's 130 points. He's indomitable. He's got super strength, invincible. For 130 points, his opening stats aren't that great. But he had this weird resurrection power where when he died, I got to roll two dice, and then whatever the result was, I would click him back to that number. And so I thought, as a front runner, have like a normal amount of health or hit points, and then he'll have the opportunity to resurrect. And I thought with invincible, he might not be too bad. At least he'll have some longevity, and maybe we can use him as a main attacker. So that was Robot Man. He was kind of cool. Sculpt's kind of lackluster, but whatever. He's still kind of fun. So the next piece I chose was Major Force, and this wasn't actually my first choice. And then when I thought about it for a minute, I thought, okay, well he's got running shot, he's got pen shot, and he had 18 impervious defense on his top click, and he's 150 points. So I thought, we'll see how he goes. And then I read his card, and he's got a power called Each Hit Cracks My Containment. And basically the idea is that he can use poison, and when he does, he deals damage to all other characters within a number of squares equal to his click number. So what ended up happening is he took a hit right off the hop, he took 2 damage, and then within 3 squares he was poisoning everyone within that radius. Now, not only is that great, but if he gets past click 4, it's all penetrating damage as well. And so by the end of his dial, I got 7 range for poison, it's penetrating, and he ends up being on a regen click, so I got to roll for regen, and then he came right back. So if people were trying to target him because he was slowly killing everyone on the field, he comes back in, and then he gets, range combat expert. He has steel energy. So he stuck around for a long time, and he was really a front runner and a bit of a star of the show for me. So Major Force, not bad. Kind of cool paint too. It's kind of like a metallic paint. I liked him. Next one I got was the Wizard. And I'll tell you, the reason I pulled the Wizard without even looking at anything else is he had probability control right off the hop. 50 points probability control. That's exactly what I look for in a support piece.
And a sweet costume too. I mean,
well, yeah, and look at him.
Yeah,
he's all like magicianed out there. He's got this really cool power, and this is one of my favorite things in Heroclix, is the idea of the bystander token. So he has shape change, and if he's successful with shape change, you can move him within 4 squares of where he started, and replace him with a Tiger bystander token. And the Tiger has got charge, blades, claws, fangs, toughness, and well, it's only got 1 printed damage, but you might as well use blades every time. So that was like a really neat kind of idea there. He had like a power where if you put him next to blocking terrain, you couldn't draw a line of fire to him. So support piece that's going to be hard to hit, has the potential to surprise characters, and for 50 points, he's actually got 10 attack and 3 damage. So, and 6 range. So, I mean, he could sit back there, probability control, and when nobody was expecting anything, I'd actually roll and I'd hit somebody, and he'd do a decent hit. So, yeah, Wizard was another one of my favorite characters. I'd say, really, if I had to play these in order of who did what, it probably went Major Force, Wizard, and then Robot Man, despite the fact that I chose Robot Man as my front runner. The next one I pulled was Iron. And, when you get down to your 4th click, your pickings are slim. So Iron's 50 points. He has super strength. He's got decent attack value, 10, and damage is 3. Again, he doesn't have range, but for 50 points, it's a secondary attacker. He's not too bad. He's got toughness. Beyond that, there's really nothing going on for him. He's got a 5-click dial. If I'd had other metal men on my team, he would have been a little bit more effective because they have a group trait. But he did well enough, I suppose. I think I maybe hit somebody for a couple of damage with him. He wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
And then lastly, I chose the demon because who doesn't like a generic piece anyway?
Well, with you, because you were sitting beside me, it was either demon or witch.
Yeah, well. And what I ended up with is he had 9 attack, 3 damage. He has perplex, but he can only decrease combat values. I think it's decrease on opponents. Yeah. You can only target opposing characters, so obviously you choose to decrease. So he ended up being another support piece. He was 30 points. I actually used him to tie people up most of the time, but he didn't really do a lot of damage. So that was the team that I ended up with. It was okay. I won 2 out of 3 games. I also played World's Finest. I gotta tell you,
got shut down pretty quickly.
World's Finest is a tough piece to play, but you know what? It was a lot of fun. I had a great time, and we'll play the next one. But the great thing about the whole fun part is that you won a prize.
I did. I won the fellowship prize, which I think was like, sorry you got beaten so badly. No, and I think it was a bit random too, but I got this super cool Vampire Batman piece. So, I've already opened her up, but let's open her up again. So this Batman, I gotta tell you, he's really cool. So
he's unique.
He's unique. He's got vampire wings.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
Red eyes, and he's kind of sitting on a log there. Really awesome. So on his first click, he has 12 movement, 12 attack, 18 defense, and 5 damage.
That's on his top click.
That's on his top.
Does he start on his top click?
He doesn't.
Thank God for
here's
that.
the thing. So he actually starts on his 4th click. So let's read this here. So he's got Vampiric Hunger. So Batman begins the game on click number 4. When Batman KOs an opposing character, heal him of 2 damage.
Wow.
When he does, he may heal beyond his starting line.
So automatically you KO a character with him.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably suggest with a character like this, you might want to stay back a bit.
Yeah.
Wait for somebody to get weak, kill him, and then he's up to 11 movement, 12 attack, 17 defense, 5 damage.
Yeah.
That's deadly. I don't know what those white boxes are, but maybe you could tell me.
So the punch and white box, the attack is Who Will Dare Face Me Now? So it's give Batman a free action and choose up to 2 opposing characters within line of fire. Those characters modify their attack value by -1 when targeting Batman with an attack until your next turn.
Wow.
So it weakens people there. And then we got the damage one, which is I am one with the night. Batman can use shape change. When he is when he is chosen as a target of a ranged combat attack and uses shape change, he succeeds on a result of 4 to 6, and this power can't be countered.
Well, shape change seems to be a common theme so far. Shape change and super senses. I'm seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, there was some shape change in here as well, and I actually rolled out of being attacked a couple of times because I only had the one guy within range, which was pretty cool.
The shape change is pretty good. I mean, it's great to have a damage reducer like toughness, but if you can roll out of it completely, then yeah, that's.
And then the really cool thing here is, so Batman's got hypersonic speed and combat reflexes.
Hypersonic speed vampire.
And then 2 white blocks on each of the things there. Like he's awesome. And
he looks cool.
I'm super glad that I got to win this figure.
Yeah, you did really well. 147 points in the Batman team ability too. So with hypersonic speed, I mean, now you get hypersonic speed and stealth, and that's a deadly combination. So that's a great prize.
So yeah, he was kind of the cherry on top there for that tournament. It was a lot of fun, and then to win this awesome Batman figure that I know lots of people wanted.
Yeah, I was gonna fight you in the parking lot for it.
Yeah, you did, and then Megatron showed up, and we had to fight him instead.
Yeah. Well, hey, lucky you.
Yeah.
Anyway, it was a lot of fun. I had a great time.
Me too.
I'm gonna play the next pre-release tournament, which is out on the 7th, and we'll see what we can do. I got a little bit more knowledge about what's going on, and then when we're done that, we'll come back and we'll talk about what happened during that one too. But pre-release is out now. The set drops in, I think, 3 weeks. And we'll be doing an unboxing of that as soon as we can get hands on our brick. So look forward to that. And if you haven't already subscribed, please do so.
And let us know, if you play the pre-release tournament, how did you do?
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments.